Hey guys, Marslinger here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be doing the showcase for the new Prime Battle LR Dr. WHEELO that just came out on Global. We have him fully link leveled, fully LR'd, 777 medal grind. I only did it once and then used Kai's on him because I have so many of them, right? That's the benefit of having so many. After Dokkaning responsibly in the old days, is now I can afford to do stuff like this, right? And it means I can get the video up. I only have to farm the medals once. So he does have an intro, which is why we're starting on the map screen. So let's go ahead and jump in and check that out here.
Looks like it's my turn now.
There you go. Looks like it's his turn now. And now we have Demon King Piccolo. So the thing for this showcase is the Dr. WHEELO only has one 200% leader skill, and that is the Battle of Wits with the STR Carnival Goku, who he's not really a good fit for, shall we say. So I thought it would be interesting to try him out on this team with the Piccolo Jr., because not only is Piccolo Jr. a 170 leader for him because he is on Terrifying Conquerors, but if we take a look at what he does here, his 12 key super raises defense for 1 turn, does colossal damage, lowers attack, and then his 18 key super raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does mega colossal damage and seals super attacks. He's a revenge category leader. And then his passive is he gets the entrance animation, which gives him 4 key and 80,000 defense for 4 turns from the start of turn when there's another revenge ally on the team. So Piccolo Jr. is on revenge, right? So it makes a good fit for him in terms of a team that he can be run on. So 3 key attack and defense 100,000 when plus an additional key 3 attack and defense 60,000 when facing only one enemy. At the start of the turn, if that enemy's HP is 60% or more, plus an additional attack 60,000 and a medium chance of performing a crit, then we get plus additional key plus 2, attack 40,000 and defense 100,000, a medium chance to guard when facing 2 or more enemies, which is not something we're going to come across that often. He then gets an additional 60,000 attack and performs a crit when HP is 40% or less once only. So guaranteed crit with a little attack boost when you get to 40% or less. Now his link set is interesting, right? Because he has links like Prodigies, Thirst for Conquest. Actually, that's really what I was going to say for some of these extreme links. Like Prodigies, we can get some link partners. Thirst for Conquest, obviously not too bad. And then like, you know, Shattering the Limit and Legendary Power, those can be dotted around various extreme teams. But he has Scientist, Revival, and Mechanical Menaces, which is not necessarily the best links, right? Like Mechanical Menaces is key 2 and 5% damage reduction, which is cool, but then look at who he shares this link with. Like, I mean, I guess if we get a future Dokkan Fest Mecha Frieza that is a 200% leader for a revenge team, that'd be pretty cool. But then he also has like Revival. We have a couple of units that we can get that from, but then Scientist, like, I mean, where are these teams that you're going to be getting a lot of these links active? I mean, this Toa is getting an easy A this year for heroes, but is she on Terrifying Conquerors actually? I don't know. So they're not exactly going to be on he's not exactly going to be on a ton of teams with a lot of the units that he gets a load of links with. So you can see on this rotation, he does actually get 4 links active with Bojack. And Bojack is providing, does he even support WHEELO? He supports Space Traveling Warriors. Actually, no, he creates rainbow orbs when there's a Space Traveling Warrior, which I don't think you are, right? Even though you're in space for your super attack animations. Yeah, he doesn't really travel through space. So, bit unfortunate. I kind of wanted to keep Piccolo here, even though they only share Thirst for Conquest. But we all know what Piccolo is like. He definitely has the potential that he could just pop off and kill Cell. So let's go ahead and do this. So start of turn, we have 373k defense. I mean, that's not terrible for the early going, but you have to remember he's getting 80,000 defense for 4 turns. So in 4 turns, that's going to drop like fairly significantly. Now he is getting 30% on his super attack effect. So he is going up to around 500k, which, I mean, you know, we're kind of entering the meta now. I was saying this in the Turles showcase, but like we're entering the current meta of these new difficult events like we saw with the Dismal Future Red Zones, where like 500k defense isn't even enough to tank normal attacks in some of these events now. So him having 400k after a single super is not great. And just like the free-to-play Turles, very strange that he has a chance to guard ability, but it's locked behind multiple enemies, which obviously they're not, you know, they didn't bring out any new content during the Worldwide Celebration that was against multiple enemies. So I know obviously technically these units came out on JP before the Worldwide Celebration, but I mean, it was the same scenario even then. So you would think it would be nice if they brought out these units on JP before the Worldwide Celebration even happened. Maybe actually putting in some, you know, some stages in the Worldwide Celebration that had multiple enemies. Maybe that would have been a good idea, right? To help out some of these units that they had released who are relying on multiple enemies in order to get certain parts of their passive to activate. Very strange choices, I think, with some of the content that Dokkan has been releasing lately when compared to what they've been doing with units, right? Like certain units and EZAs releasing during the Worldwide Celebration then would have preferred longer events in order to get build up, and then all the new events are like you get hit like a truck on turn 1. Like, it's very, very strange. So, Dr. WHEELO, I mean, one thing I did see some people mentioning, it's kind of funny. You guys know we're always repping the Heroes agenda over here. There is a Dr. WHEELO in Heroes, Dr. W, that was in the same, in the promotional anime. He was actually in the same arc as the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s and Dark Janemba, I believe. So, we got both of them last year. Dark Janemba will be awakening this year. Be kind of interesting if Dr. WHEELO from Heroes was one of the units on the Heroes banner this year, because then we would at least have some extra links potential, right, depending on some of the teams. But I mean, the way it stands at the moment with this guy, I think Toon mentioned it last night on the episode of the Slot 1 Super podcast, so if you haven't seen it, do go check it out. I hadn't had a chance to actually properly get to use this guy. I was actually still farming his medals like during the episode. But like the big thing that was pointed out is with these Prime Battle LRs, think how long it takes them for them to get their EZAs. Certain free-to-play units, like it can be different, right? Like I think the SCR free-to-play Yamcha, if I remember rightly, it wasn't too long till he got his EZA, and then he ended up being quite good. With the Prime Battle LRs, obviously for some reason they're still continuing this trend even with the new ones that are coming out, where they have these flat boost numbers in their passive, but then when they get an EZA later on, then they give them percentages in their passive, which obviously makes them better. I don't know why they haven't just changed to when they release brand new ones, giving them percentages, because all they're doing instead is they're still getting flat boosts, but they're just giving them really, really big numbers. And I'm not really sure if that is the best way to go, right? Because we see units like Dr. WHEELO. I mean, he got an additional super on that previous turn. Still not putting out the craziest of attack stats. An extra 30% defense on top of what he was already getting was pretty good. That can take him up to, you know, like 600k defense maybe. I think we did have support on that turn as well. But again, like that's enough for him to tank normals against some of these, most of the bosses. But he's still going to take a lot of damage from a super attack. And like he has status effects on both of his supers, which is cool, except that, you know, the large majority of bosses cancel those out. So yeah, it's strange. Like I know people wanted a Dr. WHEELO in the game. I personally was indifferent, right? Don't really care too much about the very early Dragon Ball Z movies especially, but I feel like, you know, if you're the main protagonist or main antagonist, I should say, of any of the Dragon Ball movies, you at least deserve a card in the game, right? But why a Prime Battle LR? All of the other Prime Battle LRs are like, well, I don't want to say major players, but they kind of are, right? Like Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks, Frieza. And then, yeah, we get Dr. WHEELO. It's very, very interesting. Cell obviously has one too. So, like, that means if you think about it, if they wanted to pick this slot to be a villain for the new Prime Battle LR, we have a Prime Battle Cell, we have a Prime Battle Frieza. Why didn't we get a Prime Battle Boo? Hey, we could have finally got LR Kid Boo, but he could have been a Prime Battle LR. So yeah, very strange that he does finally get a card, but is a Prime Battle LR. And it does seem like You know, we haven't done, you know, the video's not over yet. Maybe we'll be surprised, but the problem is with him only getting the buff for a certain number of turns, it means we're very, very soon here going to be at the point where he's now going to be less effective because he's missing that extra key and extra defense, which obviously for an LR, getting a bunch of extra key is obviously very, very useful. And on a team like this, where the link partners are going to be somewhat sporadic, kind of links broken up between multiple different units, him losing that extra little bit of key alongside the extra little bit of defense is potentially going to be quite impactful. So we'll see what he looks like on this next turn here. Piccolo Jr., yeah, should take out the second form cell. And then we move on to this AGL Perfect Cell. This is not a great rotation in terms of slot 1 units. But yeah, 312k. So, I mean, that's not the worst. But we are rocking the, is it what, 40% support from Garlic Jr. So his active skill is the Planet Geyser. Can be activated when HP is 40% or less, or when facing only one enemy whose HP is 60% or more, starting from turn 5. So because we're on turn 5, we've gone into a fresh new phase. The enemy's at 60% or more HP, which means we're able to use it. Massively raises attack temporarily and does ultimate damage to the enemy. So he does have a decent bit of support active on this turn. Bojack has okay defense. Bojack could definitely take a lot of damage in slot 1 here, but in fact, I guess if you're going to have 4 links active, we might as well put you in slot 1, right? So let's go ahead and we'll put him in the middle. We'll use his active skill first of all, right? So we'll go ahead and use the active skill here for WHEELO.
Earth will be blown to bits.
We get a crit, 4.5 million. In fact, I remember when I was watching the video, did I miss that part out? When I was watching the tweet when they first posted the video. No, it's just ultimate damage to the enemy. I don't know why I had the image of the red beam like hitting multiple enemies. So it is only a single target. But I mean, we got a crit. We did an okay amount of damage, I guess. Now, unfortunately, what he would have really benefited on was if he had some sort of like on super or on attack like buffs. Because then obviously he would get those in the turn where you use the active skill. So I'm going to put him in slot 1 here. But I mean, if he eats a super straight away, he probably is going to die, right? So let's see how this plays out here. Because I know this perfect cell, he can super multiple times. He can hit quite hard. He didn't super, so he only took double digits. And then 6.3. I mean, that is pretty good, right? Like, for a free-to-play unit, I mean, he is an LR. We are getting support on the rotation. But, I mean, this Bojack, he's a rainbow summonable LR with an easy A, and he's hitting a 6.9. Now, obviously, both of these units are similar in the sense that they both have specialist links, right? Things like Scientist or Mechanical Menaces would be good for WHEELO, and then this guy has, like, the Heraclan, like all those Bojack links and stuff, right, which would be more beneficial for him. So, I mean, not a terrible attack stat, I will say. And of course, if he was to get the additional super for the 12 key, we are going to die now, right? Yeah, Garlic Jr. just gets absolutely destroyed by Cell. Garlic Jr., when he gets an easy A, I feel like he could be a really valuable support unit for some of these teams. But I tried to bring a kind of Terrifying Conquerors team here that had a bunch of like revenge units, even though we only need the one for Dr. WHEELO's intro, just because it kind of fit the theme of the team, right? But yeah, and this guy as well. I really want this guy to get an easy A because he is a revenge support unit who gets extra stats per revenge enemy on the team and gets guaranteed crit if the whole rotation is extreme revenge units. So this guy getting an easy A could be really, really cool. I also love the art, right? I love the fact that it's Frieza and all these guys from Fusion Reborn. I think that's really cool. But yeah, Dr. WHEELO, I mean, I'm probably going to call this video, like, is he worth the grind? Because the 777 medals thing can be a massive pain, especially if you're on iOS or you just don't like using the auto clicker, right? I feel like I honestly have to say no, right? Because he's only on one 200% team, which I guess I did kind of forget that part way through the video. The numbers that we were seeing are him only on a 170 team. So I think his best bet, like we kind of said at the beginning and talking about the Mecha Frieza, if we get a 200% revenge team drop, where the leader, for example, is Mecha Frieza, who's going to share some links with him, And then, you know, we get some relevant easy A's. Like if we're going to go all in on a revenge team, you know, easy A Garlic Jr., easy A that STR Freezer, then I think this guy could probably fit onto that team relatively well. But as it stands in the game right now, I just don't really see many options where you're going to use him. So is it worth going crazy and spending stones refreshing stamina to grind up his 777 medals, let alone the fact that you then have to do it again if you want to get him to SA20 for free? I would say no, right? Like for the time being, do some runs every now and then when you've got spare stamina, slowly but surely grind up all those medals. But I would say there's absolutely no rush to have this guy in your box and be using him right now, which is a bit of a shame for especially for the Dr. WHEELO fans that do exist out there. He finally got a card, but he's just really not all that. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.